you're saying you actually prefer there to be segregation in the country?
No, I wouldn't say segregation, I would say separatism.
How does that work?
Separatism means that we build and thrive in communities on our own. So like, let's say over here is a community of white people, over here is a community of Indian people, over here is a community of black people.
InfoWars, the most banned network in the world.
Who do you guys support for president come 2020?
So many choices.
There's a lot of choices out there right now.
I'm still filling myself out around it, so I'm still in the process of doing my research. I'm not going to give any clear directions until after I do my research. I still got time, but I do know that the current person that's in there, he's got to go.
What about you? Is there anyone who's caught your attention?
I'm really anti-government, so I would rather just overthrow the government before we vote anybody in, personally.
How would you overthrow it?
Ooh, how would I overthrow it? I would say first we need to just like, at the very least, take down the people who are in, like the head of the government right about now. Because it's pretty much old white men who's telling people how to live their lives, and they gotta go before President Trump go.
How are you gonna take them down?
How would I take them down? I don't know if that's good enough to be said on camera or on the microphone. But I believe the best way is for the people to unite and not vote and collectively make their own government, so that way we don't fall under the fold of what this government already has us under.
Would you consider yourself an anarchist?
Anarchist? I would consider myself a liberal, because so far the government hasn't done much for people that look like me. So I didn't think that me trying to overthrow the government, or people who look like me trying to overthrow the government, would be any type of anarchy. It would more so be liberation.
Liberation. So do you want to see America not exist anymore?
I would rather see a new America where it's actually, honestly, to be honest, separatism, so we can build on our own and learn to thrive on our own before we can actually come together as a community and work together.
What do you mean by separatism?
Integration happened, and it kind of threw us behind, especially as a black community, and building for ourselves. Because when we started to build for ourselves, other people, the people who were upset about integration in the first place, did things like bomb Tulsa, Oklahoma, or take out other black communities who were thriving on their own. So when we come to separatism, we have to be able to thrive on our own without there being an other entity involved in telling us how to operate.
So you're saying you actually prefer there to be segregation in the country?
No, I wouldn't say segregation, I would say separatism.
How does that work?
Separatism means that we build and thrive in communities on our own. So like, let's say over here is a community of white people, over here is a community of Indian people, over here is a community of black people, but we all live in the same space. How can we work with each other? By building on our own foundation first, like the Chinese do it.
How's that gonna work when you have so many people who are so many different mixes of races? Because we're America, we're a melting pot. We've, like, so many people are, mixed race. Where would they fit in?
I feel like they would have to choose their party just as much as they would have to choose their Democratic Party or Republican Party. You choose a side, and that's the only way to do your own thing.
So like your black side of your family, you're like, bye, I won't see you anymore.
Be on our own.
Do you think people should have to take, what are they called? Ancestry DNA tests to find out what % of what they are, to then see what community they can be in?
Yes and no, because at this point, we're already separate. We're already said, you're white, you're black, you're Asian, you're XYZ. We're already segregated just by race, because that's a social construct. So if you build based off of your social construct, maybe you can have separatism.
Do you think that we can't just live together in peace and harmony?
I would say ask the ancestors that, because as of lately, it doesn't show. I mean, we're still being killed in the street by cops at 10 years, 12 years old. So until we can get past that, we have no choice but to be separate and thrive on our own, because they're not letting us.
Interesting. So who do you think should be picked for president? Oh, you're saying no president, right? Is that what you're saying?
No president. I feel like we talk about a democracy, but the people did not vote for Trump, but look who's in office right now. The people are completely and totally against Trump being in office, but he's the one that's president of the United States of America.
So how would all of this be governed, what you want? Like what government, what type of system?
There are actually established systems already. If you look into the Moorish Science Temple of America, that's a government system that's already set up for black people. If you look at the Nation of Islam, that is a military that's already set up for black people. So we're already thriving when it comes to things like that. We just have to do it in secret because they take out the leaders of those type of groups because it doesn't fit with what the government wants.
They've not shut down our speech. We're at Infowars.com and Newswars.com, and we're defeating the leftist tyrants.
I got mobbed on the streets by fans, but almost all of them said, "We used to love you on air. It was so good to see you on, the iTunes or on YouTube. Are you coming back?" We're at Infowars.com. We're at Newswars.com. Paul Watts has launched his own Summit.news. We have our own videos. We have our own articles. They're trying to destroy us, but thanks to you and others having us on, Infowars is still chugging along. So we're there, folks. Tomorrow's news today.
Infowars.com, man! Woo! Infowars.com, because there's a bunch of people out here. I'm talking about Infowars.com.
I'm at Infowars.com and Newswars.com.
There you go.
We knew this censorship was coming forever. We have our own video streams, our own audio streams, and it's all free to air. Anybody can use it, re-upload it, do whatever you want. People go to Infowars.com and Newswars.com. That's where they find it. There's things called websites. You just go there.